Hey everyone, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to have another conversation with Leik Gullichsen, our friend out of Norway. What kind of media spin is the Norwegian media putting on this? Are they more conservative and posting a positive message about Trump and Doge and all this, or are you getting mostly negative stuff like, they're the bad guys?
Norway is a socialist country, so
Yeah.
Trump is a troll, is the new Hitler, and so on. That's the angle all the way. Same thing about Musk. The media opinion is, oh, now suddenly he's a bad guy. But as in the US, some of the media houses are owned by, have US owners. And as I said, we have a socialist country, so it kind of gives that flavor to everything.
Okay.
But we are a relatively free country, so there's not a lot of censorship on social media and what I want to discover on the internet.
Okay.
Very few filters. Some,
So
of course.
Go ahead.
But we can generally get all the information we want or need. But we have to think it out for ourselves. And, of course, if you speak of it, you're right-wing something.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think skinhead is the right. But okay, they think of something.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Everybody who wants status quo and keep the situation are okay and they are left, but everyone who wants change are suddenly right-wing and extremists, and it's a problem.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed, that it's kind of inverted now, because honestly, as the status quo now stands, it's the conservatives who are actually progressive, because we want to change the status quo. We want to go back to a better way, the way it was before. And so we're actually the progressives now because we want change. But it's still, you're not going to change that dialogue. You're not going to change that and start calling ourselves progressives. But in actual definition, we are. And what really blows my mind is all these people that are burning Teslas now and doing all this stuff, and they hate Elon Musk. A year ago, they were in love with him. They were buying Teslas and trying to save the planet. Now they don't care about the planet all of a sudden. They hate Elon Musk. And all he's doing is trying to save the United States money. He's just trying to keep us from going bankrupt, But our politicians, they're the deep state. They've been in there for, 60 years in some places, and they're getting their base, their constituents riled up to do these things. Yeah. And it's just mind-blowing, though, to see these people do a complete 180-degree reversal and hate someone that they used to be in love with just because someone else told them to. Oh, you hate Elon Musk now. You got to attack. We got to show him. You got to do something about it. And it's literally, I've seen it seen him say it. Well, I guess it could be AI made up now, but I don't know. That's a whole different topic. But they're saying it, we need to go out and do something about it. And these people are going out and they're doing something about it. They're setting Teslas on fire, attacking Tesla dealerships.
Volkswagens. It's beautiful. Yeah. Putting Teslas on fire, driving Volkswagens. No history lesson. Just following the bell like the sheeps they are. But come on, this isn't very hard to see the pattern. This should be easy for people to see through the lies and the stupidity, but they don't. Why?
No. I don't know if it's just
People,
deep brainwashing or if it's a refusal to accept responsibility for themselves. I don't know. It's something, maybe a mixture of both. Maybe I'm completely off base and it's something else completely. But yeah, there's something there where their minds are like, it's like their minds aren't their own. You know, their brain is controlled by something else.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
crazy.
what's wrong with the youth? The youth should be against the government.
Oh yeah, like we were when
Yeah,
Gen X
but
was. We
no,
rebelled against that shit.
yeah, we didn't care what,
Yeah,
because we was against it.
yeah,
But this time, no, they're all for it. And
yeah.
how come? How stupid do you get? They are stealing the money. They're stealing from the poor. They're stealing from the elderly. They're bringing us war. Come on.
Yeah.
The only people who really wants a war are the people making money on the war, okay? And the people making money on the war, producing weapons, mostly selling weapons. The producers don't make that much, but okay. These people have made so much money that they can buy everybody with power or put their own people in power.
Exactly.
And that kind of reflects the whole situation. But as I said, this is an easy thing to see. Shouldn't be all this stupidity and ignorance. I don't get it. Why?
Yeah, it's hard to understand. It really is. There's so much of it, and then the social media, Facebook and these other social media platforms, they amplify that stupidity and make that group seem like it's bigger than it actually is. When here in the United States, the vast majority of people are just common sense, normal people.
Yeah,
they really are. But they've got these fringe groups, and they seem like they're a lot larger than they actually are. But by numbers, and you can look at who voted for Trump in the election, and it was the numbers are just way in favor of Trump. And that's not even counting the amount of people who didn't vote or couldn't vote or, whatever. But yeah, we're not this left wing weird ass country where we actually, most of us have a lot of sense and want our country to be better. We're not all out there burning Teslas. You know what I mean?
And here in Norway, I haven't seen one Tesla burning. I see a lot of Teslas, but none of them on fire.
Is it a popular car in Norway?
Very.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's subsidized because of nature and green stuff. Yeah. So in US dollars, I think 60,000 something. So it's not that much of I'm a rich guy kind of car. It's more of an environmental this environment statementship, but yeah.
I've never wanted an electric car for the environmental, to save the planet or anything, but I would like having a good dependable electric car and have solar power and be completely off the grid, never have to go to the gas pump again. You know what I mean? Just live off of sun power, just for the sake of removing myself from those big corporations and stuff, distancing myself from them as much as possible. I've always liked that idea of electric cars, because you can power them with the sun or wind or whatever. You can use another alternative method of power.
Yeah,
especially down here in Florida, we get a lot of sun.
Yeah, I think some kind of hybrid solution would be a good solution, at least for Norway. It's too cold in winter for a lot of electric cars. But they are fast. They are very pleasant. They can do all this funny stuff and important stuff. And I'm a guy who listens to music, and that's the one advantage with electric cars. You don't have to know. You don't have to. You don't have the noise, so you can just listen to the music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. You don't have an engine
making
explosions under the hood. Yeah, I didn't think about that they would be a lot quieter, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and that's a good thing. But, well, that's about it.
Well, people are afraid of them because of all that self-driving technology and all the technology going into them. But they're doing the same thing with the standard engines, the gas-powered engines. They're doing the same thing. They're putting computer chips in them, and they're going to be able to control the car. They're going to be able to hit the brakes, turn the car off, roll your windows up, lock you in, and just pull over to the side of the road by controlling it from some office in Washington, D.C. or whatever. That's going to be the same no matter what kind of engine is in the car. The electric part is just what turns the tires. That's the only difference there. But they're putting all that technology in the new cars, the internal combustion engines too. So I don't see much difference.
Yeah, of course. And this is a safety argument, first of all, because most accidents are caused by us morons. But the ability to control my vehicle, I don't want to give that away. Of course I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody does. But if you give it a few years and this gets the new normal, people get used to it, and in the long run, it probably saves some lives.
Oh, yeah.
So then those of us who wants to have to get some older vehicles, shouldn't be too hard. They're too hard. At least they can be fixed.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all drive on the right side of the road in Norway or the left side like England?
No, right side.
Right side.
Yeah. We're not that crazy.
Those English, I don't know how they do that shit, drive on the wrong side of the road.
No.
Yeah, I don't. That'd be weird.
Weird? Back in, I think it was 1968, before my time, Sweden made the change from left to right.
Oh,
overnight.
Really?
Overnight.
Oh, I bet that was fun. Oh, shit. Overnight. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That could be a fun thing to do with the U.S.
Yeah. We've got enough accidents over here. These people, I mean, we've got literally rocket scientists and people splitting atoms and building skyscrapers and making beautiful pieces of art. But as soon as they get behind the wheel of a car, their brain just goes blank. They turn into idiots. They're just drooling on their phone and doom scrolling while the lights turn red. Yeah, I don't know what the wheel of a vehicle does, but it kills brain cells. As soon as they get behind that wheel, they turn into morons.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's progress. It's the future. I don't have to like it, but I can't stop it.
No.
There's no way to do that. So
no, that's the predicament. Just like with the AI, I mean, that's the future. It's coming. I see it. And doing this, like I said before in one of my videos or one of my live streams, doing this, I get more interaction with people trying to sell me that AI and stuff. So I see it coming. It's coming. And there's really no stopping it. So we're just going to have to learn to deal with it. I mean, there aren't going to be actors and stuff anymore one day. Everything's just going to be AI. There's everything. Commercials, there are going to be celebrities that don't even exist. But people don't know they don't exist. They're just going to be stars and they're completely AI generated. They never did exist, but they're going to make some company billions of dollars.
Yeah, but this AI it's still just a tool. Okay, we're going to use it everywhere, like the wheel or whatever you like, but it's a tool. And yeah, it can be dangerous. It can take over the world, and we can get this Terminator future. But in that case, somebody has to tell it to make it so.
Yeah.
You see? And is somebody stupid enough to make a destructive AI? Of course they are. But are this going to be applied by the government? I don't think so. It's going to get more of this hybrid model. You get AI to do things very good, perfect, like experts, but we still check it. We still have to control it, and we still have to have the ability to turn it off.
Yeah. I hope they do put in those checks and stuff, and that intelligent people with common sense stay in control of it. But just like the wheel, you said, the wheel was a great invention, and farmers put them on carts, and food distribution went up. But governments also put them on chariots and killed people more efficiently. So all technology is a double-edged sword with what is done with it. Just, in my opinion, now in 2025, we shouldn't even have war. I mean, honestly, what are we doing fighting in these dumbass wars? None of them should even exist.
It's a very old-fashioned thing to do, to fight a war. We all know it gets solved by the table. So
the whole world could get together and just fight wars virtually, like a big game of Call of Duty or something. And the winner is the winner. Everybody agrees to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
If you break the rules to whatever you agreed to after you lost, then the world just cuts your internet off. You don't have any internet anymore.
Yeah.
That's it. You're restricted. So that it could be that way instead of us going over there and shooting at each other and stuff. But it could be. But my question is, why isn't it? And I'm just a handyman, and I can come up with shit like that. I'm sure those geniuses, scientists and government officials and stuff, they can't come up with a better way than going out there and shooting each other with lead bullets.
It's the economy.
So
it's the economy and the money.
Yeah.
The money and the power. And by power, I mean, I can't use the T word, but yeah. And the fear of war, of course.
Mm-hmm. If it was just an online game, then they couldn't foment fear with it. Yeah, you're right about that.
And some people like to fight. Some people will fight anything or anyone. So we can just let them fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't need a reason.
Yeah, just take volunteers.
Yeah. Come on.
You're right. That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take volunteers and let them pick teams, and out of the group of volunteers who want to fight, and let each country pick teams and let them go at it. Yeah. Just like we used to do on the playground, pick teams.
Yeah, come on. People like sports.
Yeah, and televise it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, like the Running Man. Do a big show about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except between countries.
Yeah,
they could easily come up with a better way than
of course,
drafts and all this war and all this wasted money and all the money they waste on war. They could go to fix the things that, poverty and healthcare and all these things. But and I start thinking about this stuff, and it's just obvious that no governments really care about us. Not really. Because the real things that they could fix and they could do, they don't.
No.
They just keep They just keep spinning that same war machine and the same. I don't know about how is over there in Norway. How is your drugs, your pharmaceutical industry and your food and stuff? Have you heard about ours over here?
Yeah.
About all the poison they put in our food, and then they give us a pill to fix the stuff that the food has caused. We have sugar in everything. I mean, literally, beef jerky and sausage and stuff, meat stuff, they put sugar in it. So, or some kind of sugar derivative, some kind of weird thing that, what is that, corn syrup or whatever. Yeah, they put that in all of our food. We have to actually search for stuff without sugar in it. It's crazy.
Well, we are being told that our food is healthier than yours. We are being told that the chemicals and stuff they put in our food are not as dangerous as yours. The latest thing was this smoke aroma stuff they put in food that they wanted to stop because it gave you cancer. Of course, everything does, but okay. So they want to go back to old school smoking of food, I think.
Okay.
And this is just an example on the stupidity in the EU food system, which we are a part of. They just keep changing one bad thing with another.
Okay.
And the EU situation and Norway is an interesting topic. We're not a member of the European Union.
But you're not? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought Norway was.
No, we are not. We are a member of EØS, a smaller version of the system, but we are not. We're not a member. I can put it like this: we have been running as prospects for the European nation since 1974, I think.
Okay.
So we pay a lot. We use their laws, their regulations, but we got this small stupid things. Like I have to get my car controlled every second year, every 2 years. That's called a EU control, European Union control, yes? But because Norway is not a member, I have to do that control in Norway.
Okay.
Which gives Norwegian car fix shops monopoly.
Yeah.
I could drive for an hour to Sweden and get the job done for half the price. But they are in the Union, but we are not.
Okay.
So we have the rules, but none of the benefits.
That sucks.
That sucks. But
yeah.
The European Union want Norway to join because of the obvious oil, gas, fish, and of course the weapon industry. So we have been running around as prospects or hangarounds, but no full patch.
Okay.
Just doing stupid stuff. And now the discussion are up in media again. Are we gonna vote again? Last time we said no, and of course we said no the time before. But I think we are beyond the point of voting because, come on, it's not up to me or any other Norwegian. This is up to the government. They make the decisions. The U.S. foreign minister, I think, I've been talking to some Norwegian politician and told them to, hey, get your membership in order.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, things are happening. For me, as an average Norwegian, doesn't matter all that much. I
Yeah.
still have the company logo. Woohoo! I still get to pay half my money to the company. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And I still get to
Yeah.
vote. But I can fix my car in a cheaper country. That's the whole idea about the European Union.
Okay.
Free distribution of workforce and things you can produce.
So does it?
It's not that far from the United States, actually. We are just making it more difficult because we can.
Oh, yeah. So the European Union, if you became part of the European Union, would that just like dissolve the borders? Could you just move to Sweden if you wanted without any problem, like me moving to, like, I could move to another state in the United States and I would just pack my stuff and go. There would be no question or any, I wouldn't need a passport or anything. I would just go there.
Yeah,
Is that how it is with the European Union?
In principle, it was. Then
Okay.
then 9/11 happened and the world turned around. And this idea of no passports and open borders and so on didn't quite work.
Oh, okay. So 9/11 impacted Europe in a lot of ways as well?
Yeah. In security mostly.
I honestly did not know that 9/11 impacted other countries and your regulations and stuff like that as well, because stuff happens all the time around the world. Terrorist events happen. There was a bombing in France and stuff, and they don't. I mean, we see it on the news, but they don't start changing laws and making up regulations here in the United States if something happens in France. They just
It was
don't.
a deep impact on especially airports in
Yeah.
all over the world, I
Huh.
think.
I did not know that. I'm serious. I didn't know that. I thought it was just here in the United States. I didn't know that everybody got all freaked out over 9/11. I thought it was just us.
No,
Okay. That's eye-opening. Seriously.
hmm, no,
9/11 had a way, way bigger impact on than I thought.
yeah, than anybody thought, I think.
Yeah. That's very interesting because I honestly believe that it was just here in the United States that they put all these regulations on us and made it harder for us to fly and did all this stuff to us. I didn't know that they did it in Europe as well.
Oh, it decimated the European Union in part of open borders and so on. That's all gone. We
Yeah,
still have border checks. If I want to go to Sweden, they usually don't, but they can stop me at the border. There are some kind of custom to check. So
yeah, well. But then us moving between borders just to visit or to whatever, for business or whatever, that is monitored and regulated and checked. But if people want to just migrate to a country illegally without any reason, any just go there and get a job, they're allowed to do that.
yeah,
They're allowed to just flood into our country and do whatever, commit crimes, get work, send money back to their country, protest, whatever they want. They're supposed to be allowed to do that, but we're not allowed to do the same thing for honest and good reasons, on vacation or to do anything else. We're checked and monitored and tracked and all this stuff. It's insane. It's completely backwards.
yeah. We are. 9/11 brought on this Orwell kind of 1984. society. It changed the world.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to get into all the rabbit holes about it, but
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of strange things about it, but okay, another time.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll do a whole discussion just on the rabbit holes, because I keep seeing that they found some stuff underneath the pyramids, under the ground underneath the pyramids. So I'd like to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange things about history.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest mistakes we have done is, imagine for 200 years ago, these British guys came to Egypt. With all their servants and teacups and la-di-da-da. And they came to Egypt and they saw these giant pyramids. And their first idea was, nobody here can build that stuff. It must have been somebody else.
Yeah.
And today you find the same idea on YouTube and other channels, that, the Africans couldn't build this stuff. It must have been aliens. Or, come on! They are the oldest civilization on the planet. Of course they could have built it. Of course we couldn't. That's not impossible. It's not impossible. But the technology, the techniques, and I'm not talking spaceships and so on, but an easy way to do things can have been lost over time. And you see pyramids all over the world. Of course you do. But that's one easy explanation. That was the only way you could build a tall building. For you could use, what's it called? This metal stuff you use to build high buildings today.
Steel?
Yeah, steel. I don't find the word, but the reason we can build tall buildings today is because we can combine these materials. Build thousands of years ago, we didn't have that. The only way to build something was a pyramid, a tall hill.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot of things we still have to discover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely believe that. Our timeline, our notion of time and what has happened keeps evolving, because we keep finding older and older stuff. We thought that mankind came up 10,000 years ago or whatever, and then they find a hammer that's 500,000 years old. So they're like, what is this? They don't have a good explanation for it. That kind of stuff. Yeah,
but over the time with I think that an ice age will destroy everything. Everything will be grounded to gravel or sand. There will be nothing left at all. So to find the remains of an older situation is very hard. And if you find something, it's very hard to put into context.
You're treading uneven ground now. You're going to get yourself in trouble talking about an ice age, because the Earth is getting hotter. It's not allowed to cool off. we can't talk about it cooling off.
Yeah, come on. We have had the ice ages before.
Many of them.
Yeah. And that's my point. Every ice age destroys every trace of our civilization.
Yeah.
So, of course, we can't find the things that's more than 10,000 years or something, because everything else is gravel. Except the few things, as you mentioned, a hammer or something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, the Earth goes from from a ball of ice to a hot tropical environment with almost no ice on it, back to a ball, ice age to hot to ice age to hot. It just goes back and forth between those two, and nothing's going to stop that process. It's going to continue to go, and there's going to be another ice age. It's coming.
Yeah, of course
it's
it is.
just a fact of life.
But the timeline are so long, and we live for so short time. So for me, it doesn't matter if it's coming an ice age or going.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Makes no difference to me. They keep telling me it's getting warmer, and yeah, maybe it is. It's sunny outside, and yeah. But no, I don't think that's because I let my motor run, or
no, no, I don't believe so either.
No, but if the climate is changing to a warmer climate, and we can all agree, we don't have to argue about who to blame. I think that's rather stupid. But if it's getting warmer, we have a few major problems. When the sea level rises, all the big rivers are rising. Majority of poor people in the world live among or with the big river deltas. This will be flooded. So will the farmland. Mostly in Asia, mostly the poorest countries. This will generate, I don't know, some 100 million refugees because of. Why don't we talk about this? Why don't we prepare for 500 million people without home or food or something? And in Asia, there's one way to go, and that's uphill. And uphill is named China, and they're not very fond of foreigners.
No, they're not.
There's a reason for the wall. This is a problem we need to solve, all of us.
Yeah, during the last ice age, the seas were a lot shallower because a lot of the water was locked up in ice, and there was a lot more land.
Yeah.
So they had cities and civilizations that got covered with seawater. As the ice melted, they covered with sea. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of humanity. It's the nature of the earth. That's what happens. We can't, and I'm sure they didn't have internal combustion engines back then, so they couldn't blame that all those flooded continents on I can't say it, but the warming of the planet.
Yeah.
So that tells me that it's just a natural thing that happens, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen again. If it's tomorrow or another 10,000 years from now, I have no idea. But you can just look at the history of things and what's happening today, and just kind of plot out a line, and you can see where things are headed. It's not real rocket science.
No, it's not. But still, they keep telling us that it is. You don't understand this. It's too complicated. We can't talk about it. It's too complicated. You wouldn't understand this. Why are they? Isn't this a form of gaslighting?
No, definitely.
But hey, they're the media, and they're our leaders, so we have to trust them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what they're best at, is gaslighting.
But still, still we keep selecting these people. We keep, I don't know, and we grip hard on this fantasy that we actually can change something. That this guy, he's probably not a liar or a crook, but deep down we know, of course. We just hope they're less of a crook than the last time. at some point this probably ends in some kind of revolt. I hope not, but with enough stupidity and enough pressure from the media and the guys who owns the media and the people who wants to keep the wars going, and enough people seeing through the veil, understanding that this has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some kind of revolt, I think, is going to happen. I hope it's peacefully, but yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But if history teaches us anything, then it probably won't be. That's the nature of the beast, I believe. But it a lot of times I think that time is cyclical, that it just goes through the same basically the same thing, a rise and a fall and a rise and a fall,
Yeah.
like the Romans. The Romans rose up and their society collapsed, and then another civilization will rise up. Western civilization rose up out of the ashes of that, and eventually we have to go down.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but it seems like that's the way of it. Even the Egyptians were the highest pinnacle at one point, and before them the Mesopotamians and all these civilizations have risen to prominence, and then they fall. No real civilization has endured in and maintained control and power through long, like thousands of years.
No, there has been some kind of evolution in the societies. Of course, there are, but still we know that old solutions doesn't work. We know that we need to fix things. We need to do new stuff, but we keep returning to the stuff that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah.
and again and again. In Norway, we call it free elections.
Yeah. Do you worry about your elections like we do in America? The last few elections have really been come into question about whether they were legitimate and fair and not tampered with. Our presidential elections. Now, do y'all ever have those questions about elections in Norway?
No, we don't. We are a relatively small country. And we have this political elite. So we're mostly electing among the selected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we can put other names on the list and so on, but no, it's all it's the same thing. It's no difference. Things get more expensive. The taxes get higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, they're so similar in a lot of ways and dissimilar in a lot of ways as well. And it when I think about it, how young the United States is as a government, as a country, compared to other civilizations, other countries like Norway or Egypt or England, all of Europe. Y'all had countries for thousands of years, and we're like children, in the time scale. We're barely just getting started in the U.S.
It's that's not quite right. Norway was in union with Sweden until 1905.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a younger nation than you are.
Oh, okay. Officially like that. I was thinking about, back when it was the Vikings and the Scandinavians that y'all were there.
Yeah, but on paper we have only been out of the union with Sweden since 1905.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
But yeah, so statistically, Swedes are the ones we should be worried about.
Oh, okay.
But we're not. And the Americas, however, the USA, is this melting pot of every European nation.
Yeah.
And, of course, the indigenous people. So it's it was this new world. All of us Europeans was hoping and rooting for America and for all the great thing it was and all the freedom, the individual freedom, most of all, the freedom to start your own business, make your own success. We really like that. But now the media has turned 180, and nothing American is great anymore. They keep telling us, of course, about Trump and Musk and all the bad things they are doing, those crazy guys. And they keep telling us about the opioid epidemic. We keep seeing, I don't know, is it Philadelphia? Let's keep returning on the Norwegian. Some American city keeps popping up. And they keep telling us that, no, America is, you're in deep trouble. But that's the Norwegian media narrative. I think, on the other hand, that you might be just on the right way. Get the industry back to the US and producing stuff yourself.
Yes.
Get the unemployment down. All these things. And these are very good things for any nation. But here in Norway, they just tell us that this is what the Germans did in the 1930s.
Yeah, well, I hear that too. We hear that over here in America. This is how Hitler started taking over and stuff. But because excuse me, because Hitler was popular with the people. I mean, the people loved him when he started talking all that stuff in the beginning. And so there is, but you can say that you can compare any popular president or prime minister or whatever to Hitler in that way. Oh, he's popular, so he's like Hitler. So that you got to take that with a grain of salt, because one thing, Trump isn't trying to round up a certain group of individuals or anything. He's just trying to make our country great again, and a certain amount of nationalism and patriotism is important, because we'll all just devolve into this, everybody will be poor, all these other countries you've seen it happen to, and it never works. The best scenario you have is for people to earn their way through life on their own merit and their own hard work and their own, to steal from that person and give to someone who refuses to work. That stuff, that's not, then the person working hard will quit working hard because they're supporting another person, and that's just a downhill slide.
Yeah.
But a lot of people want that. A lot of people want to just, take from others. They don't want personal property. They want, stuff to just be everybody's. I can go into your house and just take what you have because it's not yours. It belongs to everybody. So, and we're fighting against that, and that's why Trump wouldn't be there if the American people hadn't elected him. We went out in big numbers because we supported what he was saying and what he's doing, And that's the thing that these media outlets, even our own in the United States, they need to recognize that he is doing the will of the American people. He's not up there trying to be a dictator or whatever. Not yet. I'm not saying that he can't be one day. He can't try to be, but right now he's doing the will of the American people. So that's the way I see it. I'm not real worried about him trying to be Hitler or whatever until he starts doing some actual Hitler stuff, which he hasn't done yet. So I'm not worried about it.
No, there's a few similarities. Hitler was rounding up these ethnical groups of people. Trump isn't doing that. What he's doing is rounding up these crooked people who all happens to have the same job description.
Yeah.
Similarity, yes. But is this a fair thing to do? Is Trump doing a fair thing? Absolutely. These people deserves it, every one of them. And as I said earlier, stealing from poor children, stealing from older ladies. Come on, punish these guys.
Yeah, they've been stealing from every single tax-paying individual in the United States for decades. They've been robbing us. And there's not a single individual who's been exempt from that. They've robbed all of us. So I say more power to him to get the corruption out, get it out.
But it's going to be a long and hard fight. These people have a lot of money, a lot of power, and they own the media.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Don't sell out.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are waking up to that, and that's one good thing about the internet is that people are able to get on here like me and you right now and talk about these things and present. Even if my ideas are wrong, at least it shows another viewpoint. It's not, just repeating the same things over and over again. I don't know if you have this in Norwegian media, but our media, our talking heads, they'll get on there and say the same thing verbatim that the last one said and the one before that in completely different channels. You can tune into ABC in New York and they're saying verbatim, word for word, whatever was sent down from above, and NBC in Los Angeles, they're saying the same thing, and it's completely scripted. And, a lot of people are waking up to that, and we're challenging these things and talking about different things and presenting different ideas and questioning things now on these podcasts and these different places like this. So I think there's an awakening happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm optimistic about that.
Something is happening. Absolutely. But now, YouTube has this policy and AI and censorship, and the other channels have Facebook, and you can't speak openly on any of them, actually.
No.
And everybody who tries is, of course, a right-wing extremist or conspiracy thinker or something. But it's starting to move in the right direction.
Yes, I believe you're right.
There's hope. And as long as this Gen Xer Musk keeps his word about getting the truth out,
yes,
this can be something good, I think.
I think so too.
But as you said, it remains to be seen. We judge on what people do, not what they promise.
Yes, that's the most important thing, I believe. Judge them on their actions, what they have done. Because here in America, we've got these politicians that they'll tell the people, hey, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to give you, X amount of dollars. And then the people will elect them, and then they'll get into office and they won't do it. And then when it comes time to get reelected, they'll blame it on the opposite party. Oh, they stopped me. I tried. I fought so hard, and I fought for you, but they stopped me. But now we've got a better plan, and we're going to do it, and we're going to get you even more this time. I promise you. And they'll keep doing that over and over again, and these people keep electing them.
Yeah. But that's the problem, because, of course, if everybody stopped going to elections, nobody voted, that would be a signal. Would be, but they would interpret it as, okay, they don't care, we can just go on. They need to be told to stop, and that's what's happening, and they are certainly not liking it. We're going to see a lot of fighting, dirty fighting, from the establishment before it's broken. The problem with breaking it down is, of course, you destroy some things that should be there, some people are dependent on, and so on. So we should be, I hope they are trying to run some kind of parallel system to fix the biggest mistakes, because they are going to make a lot of mistakes. Of course they are. And that's what we're going to hear about. The mistakes, not the success.
Oh, yes, definitely. Anything they do that can be even construed as a mistake will be blown up and shown to the world as proof that they are evil and bad. That's just the way it is. Yeah. And I just don't get all the hatred that Musk and Trump get when everything they say that comes out of their mouths is just common sense, good for the American people and people of the world. I mean, if every country would follow suit, the world would improve overnight. All of Western civilization, we'd have a better place to be. But I can't believe that they can take what they say and spin that into evil and have people believe it. I mean, they're just like sheep or robots, just,
people will believe,
taking what they're fed and following it without no research, no context.
People believe anything. There was, I don't remember the channel, but somebody said that Musk was stealing their money, stealing their pensions. Come on, he's the richest guy on the planet.
Yeah, like he wants your $1,800 pension or whatever it is. Yeah, that's insane.
He is the one person that I trust the most not to steal the money.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah. He doesn't need that shit. Well, I mean, not only that, it would go completely against him. That would hurt him. Him taking a dime from anyone would hurt him far more than just not. He's already the richest guy on the planet. What's another, a few $1 million going to do for him? He doesn't give a shit about that.
No, they don't care.
No.
And now we got these astronauts back.
Yeah.
With SpaceX. Great.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, of course I did.
It was the previous administration, the Biden administration, wouldn't let Musk go get him. Because Musk offered to go get him. I'll go get him right now. They said no, because you're in league with Trump. So we're going to let those astronauts just sit up there for months. That's why they did it, just to spite Trump and Musk. They made those astronauts sit up there for months. I would be so mad if I was those astronauts, or the families of those astronauts. I would be so irate. Yeah. That's what took so long. That's why they were stuck, just because the previous administration wouldn't let Musk do it.
Here's an idea. Why don't we send the politicians up?
Yeah.
If they do their job, we take them back.
Yeah.
If not, they can stay.
Yeah, they should go up there. They should fight the wars. They should do whatever the hell that they're that they're promoting that we don't want to do. They should have to do it. You're promoting it, you go do it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've never wrapped my mind around. How can somebody send someone else off to die? It should be like the old days when the leader, like Napoleon, led the war. He was out there on the field on a horse with a saber and shit. That's how it should be today. But It's not anymore. They're eating caviar and sipping on brandy while these guys are 10,000 miles away dying in the sand. So
yeah, and for no reason, for an old-fashioned habit of dirty old men. Yeah. And we all know that this gets solved by conversation, by talking. Nobody have won a war on the battlefield since the U.S. Took Japan in 45.
Yeah.
That's the last time somebody said, okay, I quit.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. And Trump keeps proving it over and over again because he just stops wars by talking. They just talk and then he gets demonized for that. How do you get demonized for stopping a war?
Well,
how on earth can any peace-loving, rational-minded person demonize a guy for stopping a war?
No, it shouldn't be possible, but it is. Because, as we talked about, who owns the media, who rules the narrative?
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I don't know. How do we save it? How do we save the world? What do we do? You have a solution?
Well, your I vote thing is a good start.
Yeah. That is absolutely a way to do it. I was talking warmly about I vote the last time I talked to you. And I have, of course, been thinking some more. And what I actually got isn't just an app for democracy. I got this platform that I did some simulations with it just to test it. And I can use it to run everything from a small bakery to a big democracy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's right. I invented more than I intended. But as I get deeper into it, I see all these possibilities.
Yeah.
So this is getting really fascinating. But the platform in or a democracy in that shape or form, and as an app or something that we have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
I like the part where you said that you've got to take a little quiz to be informed on what you're voting on.
Yeah, of course.
That part I really like. Yeah.
That's the reasons we have politicians in the first place. These people are supposed to be informed on everything about every level of any case before they put a vote. They don't do that, of course, but that doesn't stop us from doing it. And if I want to vote on something, of course I should know as much as possible, and a quiz is the obvious way to prove it. And with my model, I can even get you paid if you do the quiz.
Yeah, like you said, you can run a bakery with it. That's not the most horrible thing I've ever heard. The most horrible idea is like having democratic businesses where all the people own it together, all the workers from the guy who cleans the toilets all the way up to the CEO, and everybody votes on stuff, and how to control the business. And the groups that vote wisely and do the right thing will succeed, and the ones who don't will fail. You know what I mean? And if you combine that democratic kind of service into a business, but keep the essence, the core, the real version of capitalism, to where, you know, businesses compete against each other, the good ones will rise and the bad ones will fall, and then the laborers will have a vote in how much they make and all that stuff, you know, and if they get too greedy, the business will fail.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea of how to run a business.
No, I don't think so. I have this crazy idea that people in general are not stupid. I think most people have common sense. Most people are peaceful. Most people want success for themselves, for their business, for their loved ones, and so on. And they don't need to be ruled by a government. Then they don't have to be held down by stupid laws. Mm-hmm. But we have to agree on some things. Of course. Yeah, I think democratic absolutely could work. But as a parallel to what we have today, not switch it out. You understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it would be possible to show the benefits of this new technology, this new way to do things. And if it doesn't work, hey, do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the United States has the best element of the United States is what I touched on earlier, is that I can move to another state. So if the state government gets too bad, and it's happening in a state, California, they're getting so bad over there that people are leaving California in droves. They're just abandoning California, and they're moving their businesses, very successful businesses out of California to other friendlier, more common sense places. And California is just going downhill now. If all governments were like that, you know, smaller, you know, like if that just worldwide, if everything was broken up into smaller places like that, and you could just move, you know, and that government would fail, just like a business would fail. Everybody would leave if they were bad. No big deal, you know. We just move to Oregon or Florida or something.
Yeah.
That's how I think that's a good thing about the United States, because if your local government is a failure, then you just leave. I don't like it. I'm leaving. I'm not going to participate in this anymore. I'm going to choose something better.
Not that easy in Norway.
Yeah.
It's not. If I have a successful business and want to leave, I have to pay 40% exit tax. 40% exit tax. And then I still have to pay tax to Norway for 3 or 5 years.
Oh, even after you leave?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how that is. I don't think there's any taxes like that if you move your business out of the United States. I think they've just... I mean, I can see where that exit tax and that stuff, because that's actually good for the local economy, you know. So they make it more difficult for you to leave. Now the reverse of that is the United States, where they make it profitable for you to leave. They make it, you make more money if you leave. And you take all those jobs and give them to the Chinese or the Taiwanese or whatever, and you abandon all your American workers. Now that's what's happening over here. So somewhere in the middle there, maybe, you know, where I don't like the idea of being restricted and held back, but I don't think that the American way is right, where you're getting a congratulated and offered more money to leave. It's better if you leave your home country and do your business elsewhere. I don't think that's right either. So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but
incentivize staying, don't decentivize leaving.
Yeah. I have this problem in Norway, as you understand, with this platform. If I develop it and get a paper value on it, I'm screwed.
Ah.
Yeah. And if I don't develop it and get it valued, it's useless. I can't sell it. So yeah, it's a jungle of regulations in Norway. You have to tread very carefully.
Okay.
I have this. I may be getting a contract with the Norwegian Postal Office.
Oh, okay.
To put my platform into use. Not sure about it, so don't tell anyone. But that, of course, would be the golden ticket. I ran a simulation with my platform, and I can save them a lot of money and a lot of work, actually.
Okay, that's awesome. Keep me posted on that.
But on the other hand, I'm not so sure I like it, because you hear what I'm saying? It saves a lot of money. It's okay. It saves a lot of work. Do I really want to develop something that saves a lot of work?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm just adding to the problem. So, yeah. But, exciting times. Absolutely.
Yeah, they are. Gen X has lived through so much change, and we're still going to be around for another, depending on, we could be honestly, we could be around for another 50 years, up to, around 50 more years. So we can see a lot more change in the next anywhere between 20 and 50 years. So, it's very interesting times. No telling what this world is going to be like in 30 years. It's changed so much in the last 30 years.
Yeah, and it keeps accelerating.
Yeah.
That's the spookiest part.
Yeah. Yeah, I just never would have imagined that 2025 would be like this, It just kind of blows my mind when I think back of me as a kid or even as a young man and, what I used to think about the future. And I wouldn't have been anywhere close, not even remotely in the ballpark of what reality has turned out to be. No way.
Oh, I see what you mean. If you asked me in the 80s what I thought about 2025, nuclear desert.
Yeah. That's probably what I would have said too, or something like that. Yeah. Either that or flying cars, and we'd have all this cool stuff. Either one of those.
Yeah, the flying cars we still don't have, but okay.
Yeah, we've got self-driving cars, so I guess it's pretty close.
Yeah, and I expect that taxi drones are coming next. So
yeah.
That can be fun.
Yeah, sure can be. Oh, yeah, they'll have self-driving buses and self-driving semi-trucks pretty quick. They're going to have everything's just going to be self-driving here one of these days. And then pretty near future.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to buy your Tesla, and while you're at work, you'll have an app, and you can just rent it out. It'll go be a taxi service while you're working, or at night while you're sleeping. You're not using it. You'll just tell it to be back at a certain time. Yeah, and it'll just go make you money while you're doing whatever, while you're at work or while you're sleeping, while you're not using it. It'll go make your money for you. So
I don't think we will be allowed to owe it.
no.
No, I don't think. I think this will be big corporations and so on. You don't get your own car; you just get one that's available.
Yeah, probably. Here in America, that will depend on the state. That'll be a state regulated thing, probably, whether you're allowed to, purchase more than one or whatever.
Yeah,
The
but
states.
just think about the parking spaces you could save.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's a lot of real estate.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So, if you have a car, keep it. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But, of course, it's probably going to be nothing like I think it's going to be. So, that's the thing. It's going to change in ways that I can't even guess right now. I can't even foresee. It's going to be completely different than I think it'll be.
Yeah. But that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes I think to myself, wow, I'm living in the future. It's
Yeah, me too. I think that same thing.
And sometimes I forget I live in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it here.
Yeah. Overall, it's pretty good. They've got a lot of stuff going on in the world that I disagree with, but it's pretty damn good, I got to admit.
Yeah. But I have to start doing some things. As I told you, my son's birthday.
Okay. Yeah, well, I hope he has a happy birthday.
Yeah, sure he has. So,
all right.
I'll see you later, Jesse.
All right, Leik. You have a great one. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Great talking to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. And that was Leik Gullichsen. I enjoyed talking with Leik. I hope you enjoyed it too. And we're going to leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode of Gen X Thinks, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description. Or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can click on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we've got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a whole awful lot. I sincerely appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you so much. And if you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.